rolled down to Swami's, do some movements, watch the sunset, rock a dinner, rock a movie or two. Nice little end to the day, to the week. Okay, something that I touched upon, I wanted to do a longer video because I touched upon it in Matt Lawson's IG Live earlier this week. And I urge you, if you don't already, follow him, Matt Lawson Photography. Amazing info he's putting out, and tons of engagement. And he's just in an area, a very dark area of the world right now in Australia. And he's one of the lights out there. So follow him. But what I talked about, the question was, what can people do on their own right now to prepare for what's going on, or be able to deal with what's going on? And what had come into my head one morning the week before, the reason I wanted to do this was, we live now in a society and a culture that is telling you that you can prepare less, you can input less, you can sacrifice less, you can work less, and you can expect more. You can get more, expect more with doing nothing. And it just isn't that way. And it's gotten so much worse over 20 years of me being in this, where I'm just looking at health, but from injuries to performance to really anything you try to attain in life, I expect to perform and live at a high level. Why the hell am I not? Well, what are you doing to get that? What are you doing to earn that? Well, my mom paid for, I went to Tony Robbins' thing and I walked on coals. What? So what I wanted to really cover was basic levels of performance in life and just healing stories, like healing expectations. And then I want to throw another wrench in that might upset some of you, and that's okay. When we do the work, just put the 8 essentials. Just think the 8 essentials I keep talking about. Let's just say a belief in something greater than yourself. So you're going to believe in something greater than yourself, right? And you're going to go ahead and do that work to communicate to that, to honor that, whatever that is for you. The input of these 8 help put your body in a position to be resilient and adapt. That's really our goals, is to be able to adapt appropriately so that we can have thoughts that create these feelings and we can do the things that we want to do. But if we don't adapt to what's going on around us, our body breaks down, we get damaged, then we have symptoms and we have problems and we have things that we have to tend to that aren't necessarily fun. So think about this. Besides belief in something greater than yourself, purpose, relationships, sleep, naps, breath, meditation, prayer, natural light exposure, nourishment, and body movement. Those are all things that when we do the work in them, yes, we will be putting our systems in a pretty good position to have a pretty good life. But you also have to think that not only when you do the work in those, the work you do in those 8 should exceed whatever your expectations are of life, whatever your goals are, whatever the things you want to do in life. Not only the things you want to do, but you also have to do all these 8 and tend to all these 8, and they all feed into each other, because if I'm going to believe in something greater than myself and it's different than the herd, it's different than the majority, which right now the majority of humans are lacking in beliefs, in their beliefs in themselves, beliefs in something greater. It's coming on, we're awakening. But if you do that, you're going to get pushback. And when you get pushback, that's resistance, and your body will be stimulated and you will have to adapt. If you don't, there's going to be damage. That's going to be trauma. When you choose a purpose of some kind, when you have a goal, and that goal doesn't fit the narrative of everybody around you or your friends or your crew or whoever, you're going to get resistance and pushback. You're going to have to be at a level of resilience to be able to defend that purpose and achieve and push towards that purpose. Your relationships, who you date, who you hang out with, who you choose to talk to, everybody. So again, you can see where this is going. Doing all the work, taking your inventory of each of those 8, creating enough stimulus and input into those 8, it must be greater than your plan. That's something you have to understand. Greater then your plan and your goals. I want to be the CEO of a company. Okay, do you get the amount of work and what you're going to need to do to be able to not only get that, but maintain that not at the expense of your life? Because there's some people that don't tend to this, become CEO, have a stroke at 50, and they're dead at 53. What the hell was that all about? I want to get a scholarship, or I want to move locations, change jobs. I want to be, anything you want to do. I want to be the lead role in the school play or this production. Your preparation needs to exceed. It's like the days when we did the math tests. How many questions did we do in math for homework? We did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for a 20-question test. But then now it is where we expect to do well on that 20-question test doing 10 homeworks, like 10-question homework. It doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. And it's getting worse, to be totally honest with you. So that's basic performance and healing. And I've said this before, this is a resounding theme. When you are injured or there's trauma or there's something going on that damaged your cells, you didn't adapt to that, you have symptoms, body is telling you what you need to do to change to be able to adapt. Okay, your work in those 8, your therapy, your rehab, your training, your whatever you're doing needs to exceed the stimulus of what caused the injury in the first place. And for some, that's pretty radical. Okay, that's basic healing. We've talked about that. Basic performance, preparing greater than what you expect. I'm trying to hammer that home because nobody else is saying that. Everyone's selling you these quick fixes in a month to 3 months, or hey, a 10-day weight loss. Here's your detox. Here's your pills. I just took all these tests as a naturopath. I labeled you just like everybody else does. Here's the supplements instead of pharmaceuticals, but it's okay because it's supplements, so I'm all right to do this. And now all of a sudden you're worse than you were in 3 months because we never did the work. I never was honest with you enough to lay out exactly what you're gonna have to change within these 8 to do that work. And it must exceed your goals. Here comes the wrench. And some people are like, no shit. Yeah, your preparation and whatever it is must exceed your performance. Now, here comes the wrench, and some people aren't gonna like this because this is what I hold myself to, this standard. Think about this. I'm trying to do my best with it. That's for the predictable plan of life. That's for the plan that we lay out. What we write on our vision boards and when we have those group meetings and I want to do this and I want him to manifest, I want him to be brunette and 6 feet and be a romantic and I want to move to this state. Okay, sure, great. Now, we need to do the work within those 8 to exceed the performance we plan for, the expectations we plan for. In addition to, we have to do so much more work above and beyond to put ourselves in the best position possible to be able to survive the unpredictables in life. The traumas, the slips, falls, car accidents, the emergency situations, divorce. We didn't plan for that. Deaths in the family. Even though we all know we're gonna die, we don't know when. Fake pandemics, when they come along. If we do the work, it's one, to do the work with those 8 daily for what our goals are, and then to assess, okay, this is what I'm doing now. I gotta go above and beyond that because I gotta prepare my best that I can for the unpredictable events that life throws at you. And it's not about never getting hurt, never experiencing trauma or pain of any kind, never slipping and falling, never failing on a field, never failing in general. That's not it. It's being able to go into those environments and encounter those events with as minimal trauma as possible or whatever we're supposed to feel to change us, so we still can feel and learn the lesson, if that makes sense. And so right now everyone's just like, shit, you just told me I got to do all this work. Okay, now I got to rehash that and change my life and do work that's more than what I expected. Okay, that's fair. Now I have to do more? Yes. But that's the beauty about being alive. And life will let you know if you're not. How? Because when shit happens and your body responds and it's like, oh my God, that hurt really badly, or oh my God, that changed my life totally. Oh my gosh, it just lets you know that you need to make some major changes or some minor changes in what areas and how often and when and how. It's those messages you're going to receive. So that was something I couldn't get into because we had so little time on that podcast or on his IG Live. The work that we need to do to prepare for our expected results has to exceed. The preparation has to exceed the performance, and your preparation in life, the work you do, needs to exceed as best as possible what the unpredictable will show up. The unpredictable events in life. And when we do the work, you'll be able to take some pretty crazy shit. We're seeing it right now. This fake pandemic, it's attacking every one of those 8. Some more than others are starting to see like, holy shit, I'm really affected by what they're doing or what I'm allowing them to do to me. Some who have done the work, not as much. And that's why there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all, is because the beauty part of the human being is we're so dynamic and so different. Every single day we're different. There's an infinite number of us within ourselves because every day it's just this different person, and that's who we're dealing with. So 1, you're not alone. 2, your body was designed for the struggle. That's how it grows. If it's not hard, it doesn't change you. If it's not difficult, if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't change you. Some of those areas of those 8 are easier than others. Some suck doing the work, but it never stops. As long as you're willing to engage in what this life is. Some people have checked out. They're just like, whatever. I put all my faith in this power and I'm just gonna float and just go. Totally cool. Not how I live, not how I'm promoting to live, but peace be with you. Just stay away from me. So I hope that little bit of truth doesn't sting too badly, but we all are in this together, doing the work together to live. Not this fake pandemic bullshit, but past this, because we're gonna blow through this thing like a bowling ball and freaking pins. But it's after this. It was prior to this. This is the message I'm trying to get, okay? Exceed your level of what life is and exceed the unpredictable to the best of your ability, and then feel as much as you can, because we have to feel in order to engage in life and feel in order to change, so we know how to heal ourselves. And that's the only way it works. You heal you, but you got to feel you first. Cheers.